Well, that's a awesome way to start my stream. What's up, my family? Welcome to my chill birthday stream. Not sure who's all coming, but links pinned on YouTube chat.
Yep.
Happy birthday, brother.
Hey, Loki.
How is it going?
Oh, I'm living the life. I moved up to the mountains about maybe like a month ago, and I'm loving it up here. We have a rooster and hens, and every morning when it gets to be 5 o'clock in the morning, you can hear him starting to wake up and crow and just make noise. It's really cool.
That is awesome. How is the birthday boy? How is the birthday boy going, man? I saw your video earlier, and I immediately was like, one will stand, one will fall. I was like, yeah, give me Prime and Megatron.
I actually like that saying from the movie. It's a good saying, and it's funny because when I found out that the original person who did Optimus Prime, I know his name is Peter, but I forget his last name.
Cullen. Peter Cullen.
Peter Cullen is freaking awesome as Optimus Prime.
Right.
I mean, like, there's no other person who can voice him. I'm sorry. He's a fucking amazing actor.
If you watch the original Voltron, he did the intro. He played Laura's father. Oh yeah, really good voice actor.
Yeah, I had to jump on the reaction video earlier.
Heck yeah, brother. No, you did a great video. You did an absolutely wonderful video. Got me all psyched up.
I was telling Nate before we started the stream that I finally got my connector to my Xbox, the cable. So I thought I had it with me when I moved in, but things tend to get lost. So I went online, I did a search, and I found a cable that was compatible. So I'm happy. I mean, I would like to game a lot more now that I'm like officially have the space and the quietness to do so when I'm available, but you know, everybody has to do normal stuff like, you know, go to work and stuff like that. So whenever I get spare time, I tend to game and enjoy it. I gotta say though, there is one game that my boyfriend is playing right now that's really good. It is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It has amazing graphics. It is set in what is it, Russia, honey, or takes place in Russia? Yeah. So I mean, I've actually watched and played some of it, and it's really good content. I know you're not really one for that stuff, Nate, but I would recommend it. It's a good game. You can actually learn a lot from the game based off the stuff you see in there. So yeah.
Tron, you like horror games?
Oh yeah, that's a question we want to know.
Callisto Protocol comes out tomorrow. That's why I'm at it. You're like, yeah, I'm playing Callisto Protocol.
Ooh, yes, Nate. We should watch him play that. That'd be kind of cool, actually, to see him play that. Dead by Daylight is another good game that's not really... Well, I mean, it's horror-based, but you can play as either the killer or the survivor. And either way, you still have a good time playing it. It's actually got a lot of good villains. It has Jason, Freddy Krueger. I think they even had Ghostface in there from, Scream. And if y'all don't know who Ghostface is, all I can say is, come on, people.
So back in the day, this developer called Visceral Games came out with a series called Dead Space. And they had a couple of good games until EA pretty much took over everything and absolutely abandoned it. But Callisto Protocol is made by the people that made Dead Space. So the original masterminds behind Dead Space.
Oh, I actually saw that. And I have to say, the original Dead Space, game, they made it into a movie. Oh my god, it's so creepy. Yeah, what he said. I don't blame you. Because there was some freaky stuff going on there. All I can say is, Nate,
Guys, I am at over 800 subs just now. Only 200 more.
Congrats. You've been busting your butt, dude, getting there. Seriously. Congratulations, Tron.
Find this trailer. Because, Nate, if you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend that you do not watch alone. I'm gonna pull on his stream, honey. No.
So Tron, where's the liquor and the dancing Twilight girls? and what do we got going in here? We gotta get something going in here. Drinks and strippers for Tron for his birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically speaking, people can drink on their stream, so long as no one says anything, gives a hoot, but I've seen people do it before.
I guess it all comes down to can you handle your liquor or not, and not become a total douchebag.
Them shorts has been my go-to for YouTube content.
Heck yeah.
Play that. Not playing that game. That game scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. Shit. You think the the Alien movies are freaking creepy. Those are worse. By the way, if I scream, you know why. Just saying right now, because I might freaking. Oh my god, nope. Nope. Yeah, this was a bad idea.
Also chat, feel free to pop on, I'd be happy to have you.
Yeah, what are y'all doing just watching? Hop in, hang out, have a good time. It's Tron's birthday.
Mexican couldn't come on. He fell off the damn window.
Ha! Hit himself in the head with his ladder. Oh my god. Yeah, Mexican Iron Man fell off the ladder coming out the window, so he couldn't make it.
It's actually an animated movie, but it's still pretty creepy.
Sound check. I'm sorry.
Mind you, when my boyfriend was watching the trailer, I was like, I don't want to know what that is, but whatever it is looks really weird and not right. I mean, there are some, in my opinion, some games that should not be made, like Silent Hill. I've never seen the movies, and I will not watch them.
Mm-hmm.
How scary is it? What he said. Yeah, I would not want to watch that alone. I would definitely probably be like, nope, I'm out of here.
What's up, Tron? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Tron? Happy birthday. I hope my sound isn't too loud. I'm just kind of tweaking my new stream deck. Picked up the new Elgato face cam, and I gotta say, this webcam, the Elgato camera, it's like the really new from what at least I just learned about it last week, is really good for this whole green screen thing. I could like do this and be invisible now, which I think is really cool.
The man, the myth, the legend, DJ Ronnie G. What is up, my friend? How are you doing?
You know, staying out of trouble. I'm pleased to be able to join Tron's birthday party. And by the way, happy birthday, Tron. I would share some chocolate pretzels, but it's hard to send them through this computer slot. You know, I tried putting them in, they started melting inside my computer.
Awesome backslash.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool.
So, you know, I mean, I'm glad I could join it. Just, you know, I've been tweaking everything here, and I don't know if my lights are too bright. I mean, I looked really pale earlier today, you know, like a ghost, but, you know, it's working out. I really like the Stream Deck. Before that, I was using this, which works all right, but kind of pain in the butt, because you can't type numbers and use it to control your audio. But, you know, other than that, having a good time. Good show this morning, Loki. I had a really late night, so I kind of jumped in a little late. Couldn't really participate in the chat because I was kind of like, you know, half in, half out. But you know, always a good show.
Hey, brother, you're golden, man. Shit. Part of it I wasn't there for. So, and I was there the whole time. So.
Well, let's see. Last time you did a members stream, I was like spent half of it playing with my background because I was trying to get like a funny Babylon 5 background of John Sheridan falling from the, you know, the train, the monorail. And so I got this, and then I got this concrete wall where Captain Mercer's ex-wife is in a fight with a krill. I just use it because the concrete wall really blends in.
Nice.
What I really need is some Tron backgrounds, you know what I mean? Like a lot of cool stuff. Like I saw that movie like a few months ago, the legendary Tron, and that was a good movie. Like I was like way behind. I had to catch up on the first Tron movie, finish it in its entirety, and that movie is off the hook. I don't know if they could pull off another sequel without screwing it up, but I really did enjoy the first two.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool you think that, because some people who never watched the original, you know, they go back and they see that for the first time and they're like, well, there's really, I mean, it's almost a movie of its time that if you didn't love it then, you're probably not going to love it now. So there's not a lot of people that see that for the first time today, a movie like that from the 80s, and go, oh man, that's absolutely bitchin'.
It might be helpful. You know, I read a lot about vintage computers, and knowing a little bit about how they made the movie kind of like made me interested in seeing it. And I you know, knowing what it takes, like, you know, even Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, the Genesis, you know, effect, right? When the planet is in CGI, that took like 6 months for like a bunch of like skilled engineer, you know, tech, whatever you call them, programmers to put together. And in Tron, it wasn't pure CGI, but the scenes they did in CGI, they had to do on a Cray supercomputer. And for reference, this is a computer the size of like a refrigerator. It's shaped like a letter C, because basically the guy who designed it figured out that if you could shape it like a letter C, the wires between all of the important components would be shorter on the inside. And this thing needed to be cooled by Freon. It got crazy hot. It used up like more electricity than like a handful of houses. And they had to basically do CGI where it would take like multiple minutes, possibly an hour, to do one frame, you know, for any given scene. So of course every scene is what, 20 frames a second, 24 frames a second. So I mean, that's like that movie was a bit of an engineering achievement at the time, and a lot of people of course look at it now and they look at something dated like the original Battlestar and they have a hard time watching it. I get it, but I don't know, you just gotta suspend your disbelief sometimes.
Yeah, I have the mobile Stream Deck so I can use it with my mouse.
Ooh, they got a mobile. Oh yeah. Is that the mobile one? It's kind of cool. And just so you know, solar battery.
This stream is sponsored and brought to you by Tron Juice. Use code Tron for your discount at checkout.
I'll take some Tron juice.
We also sell sugar-free Tron Juice. Energize your game.
I'll take 2. It's funny you mentioned the mobile stream deck. I forgot all about it until yesterday when I was setting up this one, and I was thinking to myself, had I remembered it existed, I probably would have tried it out because, you know, why not? I mean, I could save $100 that way. And just so you know, it's all about it. You were roboting, so we weren't ignoring you. I just couldn't hear you just now. You were talking, and I was getting the robot voice. You know, when like the signal breaks up on a cell phone.
Right.
Yo, that's a sick soundboard.
Yeah, good.
Wow. Huh. That's pretty straightforward. That's cool, just like the app. I see you drag in there. You got your sound effects there. Huh.
I fight for the user.
That's a sweet setup. Damn. That is intricate. That's so cool, though. That's the kind of thing I would spend like months setting up, and you know, slow going. Sometimes you just build something up, you tweak it gradually, you know, you take weeks and months. What's up, Pete? By the way, I love the animations you do when you when it has like the wheelchair pop up on the screen animated. Like, because of that, I kind of learned how to use OBS after seeing that, because I was like, I don't know, even though I still don't use transitions in OBS, I just think it looks sick when you hit the button and you see like the, you know, animation. I always thought that. I remember seeing that on EBN. Yep, that. I remember first time I saw that on EBN, I was like, that shit's so cool. I was kind of not jealous, but you know, I was like, that's a good setup right there. I didn't know what app, if that's like a plugins package or something, but I thought that looked sick.
Yeah, should be better now.
Yep. Oh,
Also,
I can hear you
hey,
loud and clear.
What's
I
up,
don't-
everybody? Happy birthday, Tron. Ronnie, nice to see you. Solar, nice to see you.
Yeah.
Likewise,
Nice
Pete.
to see you.
Yeah.
What's going on, Pete?
Hanging out, listening
Awesome.
to some lo-fi.
Hey,
Birthday, happy birthday. Hey, how old are you, man?
Yeah. We want to know. Ooh, nasty.
You're getting old, buddy. We've been friends for a long time. That's how I know.
Wait a minute, what?
Freaking for
Are you the big 4-0?
No.
It's the big 40.
Nice.
Nate.
2 more years, dude. 2 more years, and you will be the master of life, universe, and everything.
42.
Get
That's
out.
the year.
42.
The
But
mean
what a
thing-
huge congratulations. Happy birthday, 40
Dang.
years old.
Nate,
I hope I make
you
it
do
that
not
long.
look 40, man. You do not look 40. No. This man right
Yeah.
here has the fountain of youth going on.
He gets that from his dad, I think.
He
He's
exfoliates.
so fucking young.
And his mom's side too. That's for sure.
That's how Nate gets all the ladies.
Somebody mentioned Callisto earlier. Oh
That was
gosh.
me. Yeah. Can't wait for tomorrow. I
So
cannot wait.
excited. Dead Space was some of the most horrifying and absolutely fun experience of computer gaming.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never played any of the games, but my boyfriend has said that he can't play them alone because they're too creepy, and I bet they are.
It's a
but
lot. It's a lot. I had to take breaks personally. Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, I thought the
Especially
creatures
the
from Alien
baby
were
part
creepy.
when you go into the
They
nursery.
am.
When you go into the nursery and that baby comes around the corner, it's like, ah, and you're like, oh no,
You thought you'd seen it all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, oh
And
yeah.
they pull that, then you're like, well,
And then the other one we were discussing before was Silent Hill. Oh, nope. The movies.
I did those as a kid. Silent Hill, PlayStation, like I think it was 1 and 2 for the originals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wicked scary stuff. I remember looking outside and seeing the dogs like across like the yard. You know what I mean? And they'd be looking back at the floodlights at the house, and their eyes would be glowing. And I was like 6 years old, and I was like, "This is." Probably not 6. I was probably a little bit older than that. Probably like 8 or something like that. But I was like, this is Silent Hill's happening right outside my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty scary.
I mean, mind you, I didn't see it. It looks really interesting and really weird. It's kind of like those movies were so old that to redo them right now, you have to get the characters right and get the whole plot of the film right to make it look good. Otherwise, it doesn't really appeal to many people who've seen the original movie.
Hey Tron, I hate to do this to you, brother, but I got a show with a dag in 25 minutes. Happy birthday again, my friend. Thank you so very much for the invite. I hope you get everything you want for your birthday. I hope that X-Wing comes by. That way you can run over him with your chair again and kick him while he's down. I know how much he likes that. I sent him, if you didn't see Twitter earlier today, he said something about getting run over by something. And I said, oh yeah, like Tron did. I've got a picture of like a Tonka truck running over a kid. It's so, yeah, oh yeah, but yeah, like, you know, because yeah, you're the legend, brother. Take care, brother. Thank you for the invite, and I will see you around. Take it easy, bro, and happy birthday.
Bye, Loki.
Have a good show.
Thank you.
Quick, let's restream Loki's show over here and then tell people to watch it here so you get more viewers.
My cat's around here, so actually...
My PC parts has been ordered yesterday, so next month is the month.
Cool.
Next month's the month.
Congratulations.
Let me know, man. If it's January, yeah. Yeah, so probably no problem. Just let me know. The weekend or whatever, you know. Probably not day of. 1 day in advance. Be nice. But other than that, make it happen.
You're Tron's tech guy?
Yeah, kinda.
Cool.
Kinda.
I usually do, I go to slow approach. I sometimes will take half the parts from my old computer. Yeah. And just upgrade a few of them, and then 6 months to a year later, I'll upgrade the other half of the components.
Yeah. Tron's got a rhythm to his tech upgrades, and it's a nice rhythm. He's been developing it for a long time, and for me, I kind of, it's his system. Like when I say that, I don't know. I don't even say I'm his tech guy, but yeah. He asked me to build it. I offered to build it. I went to, and just to kind of help out and stuff like that. His family's plenty capable. Things have been easier than ever and all that. It's just, I just want to be there. But a lot of his, how do you call it, components and his build, necessities and stuff. That's all him and everything. And I just kind of the guy to plug stuff in,
Yep.
Clean stuff up.
So he's doing all the PC part picking, the shopping, the selection, all that fun stuff.
Well, it's a community, and we all talk about it and everything, and give our recommendations and stuff. But yeah,
that helps. Yeah. It's nice to have that too, because sometimes there's I don't know, sometimes I have. Well, you know what kills me? I miss the good old days. Well, okay, maybe I'm being. I sound like get off my lawn, but I miss the good old days when graphics cards didn't take up 3 freaking slots. I know they look cool and they got LEDs and you need that big fat radiator, but it's I just want the third slot. Just give me the third slot. I'm not even asking for 2 slots anymore, because I'm realizing that I gotta sacrifice the slot next to it. A lot of motherboards are designed to, you know, almost disable that slot or assume that you're not gonna use the bandwidth from that lane. But like, I got like a GPU. I got a good price on a GPU, but it takes up 3 slots, and I'm like, this is brutal.
It is brutal. I saw a video of a guy plugging in his 4090 into his ITX, and I know there's like promotional videos of that, but it was just an average guy at home, and of course he's going to use a riser cable, and it's going to be mounted like properly somehow. But he was just plugging it right onto the little ITX board, and it was like falling over. He goes, and it would just clunk and stand that way, because it's humongous, right?
Yes.
And it really it's so staggeringly such a size difference. So my other buddy, who's brand new to IT, he always asks the best questions. I love David. David, if you're out there, I love your questions. And he just asked me, like, how long do you think before graphics cards just become liquid cooled from factory? And I was like, oh, well, they have them, you know. But they're super high end, and it's only, my cat wants in 1 sec. They're like a few $1,000s, only for like mega professionals and stuff like that, right? But it's a way to keep like a very expensive card from the factory with a warranty under a smaller profile and a very heavy load, right? I wonder if that's the future. I really do. I wonder if that's the future. I just thought it's an interesting topic, you know, because the 4090, I mean, it's like.
Yeah, I seen that. It's almost something you could make an external enclosure for and plug it in externally, which that's another direction these things might go. If people, and like unless people have large towers, you know, I have a full tower case, but another route is to literally run some kind of riser to an external enclosure. And you know, sort of like on a MacBook, you get a Thunderbolt, you know, PCI Express enclosure, and you can put a graphics card externally. That might be it, but like that is an interesting story, you know, because I mean, CPUs. Intel started doing this thing with their new generation of CPUs where they have some, you know, performance cores and you have some low performance cores, and the low performance cores do a lot of the things that, you know, they do all the time, you know, the background stuff, the, you know, processes in the background, because they couldn't find another way to lower power consumption, you know, like you could underclock it, but then now you have like all of your cores underclocked. So they figured out this way to balance it out, put some weak cores in there, put some powerful cores in there, and don't tap those cores until you actually need them. But GPUs, you really can't do that. Like you can run a GPU at lower power when you're not using it, but when you're playing a game, typically you're going to be tapping that GPU and emitting a lot of heat. So, you know, water cooling, and you ever see, you know, I don't think they're going to go this route, but phase change cooling, where they use a liquid called Fluorinert, and it's a liquid that 3M makes. It doesn't conduct electricity. They used it on like the second Cray supercomputer, and they immersed all of the components in this fluid, which is expensive because, you know, too much money to immerse your whole machine. And there was other problems, like it would evaporate if you had it crack. But they figured out, like, they use this on servers where they'll basically have like sort of like a cooling loop, but they'll use it like in such a way. Basically, they'll use it like on a water block, but the way it evaporates and the way it condenses, it's able to work a little better. I don't know. They say it works better than water. I don't really know, but it's just another option. Problem is, it's like $120 for like a 20-ounce bottle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's like some kind of mineral solution.
They have that too. Yeah, mineral oil, and so you get like a refined mineral oil, similar to the stuff you use in your brakes on a car. Mm-hmm. So I remember when I started using hydraulic brakes on my bike. I didn't realize like how, you know, messy mineral oil gets, you know, so I can see why, you know, it's not everyone's go-to to immerse their motherboards in that stuff.
I think with at least the amateur market, like people, I can't find my camera or I'd be on camera. Hey buddy.
I was waiting to say, hey, I just saw your message in chat. What's up, buddy? Speaking of the community and the tech support for Tron's new community or computer build coming up.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
I'm getting in on a good topic, but yeah, I think a lot of it with the amateur market, at least, like or the prosumer market, is, and even on the server side, is like a lot of companies rent server space, right? Like a lot of like just like customer service type people, like Walmart, Amazon. Like Amazon's got a whole business built around Amazon workspaces, right? You know, like where companies can just buy server space. So like they get rented out, and then resellability is a big thing, though. You know, like you can't resell a motherboard that's been soaked in mineral oil, right? Like you never.
That's a good point.
Lightly used.
Right, lightly used.
In packaging.
Yeah.
We kept the packaging.
But like the graphics card thing, I think we're at the advent of seeing like water cooled graphics cards. There's a lot more of them with the 40 series than there has been in the past. Like, so that's we're definitely getting there.
Silence. Users, Tron is trying to speak. I have a new case that grandparents getting me for Christmas. I'm going all AMD on this build.
AMD, that was it, right? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I tend to roll with AMD unless I don't have a choice. And what I mean is sometimes I would just get lucky, like, or whatever, just end up, serendipity. But like my last build was AMD 8-core, FX 8350, and I loved it. I still have it running because it's got a FireWire port, and that's how I digitize my VHSs. But this machine, I was gonna go with like one of the new Ryzens. I really wanted to go that route, but then a friend of mine gave me like a killer deal on like a 9th generation i5. So I was like, okay, well, he's giving me the motherboard and the CPU at like an irresistible price. So I was like, at that point, it's like it was just I had no choice. It was like he had a gun to my head. He had my head to a wall. I was like, all right, I'll buy it.
I think AMD being the better solution for an entire build this time around is the way she goes, boys. About every like 10, 15 years, the tables just turn. The turns table, and AMD ends up being better per dollar, and
oh yeah, absolutely.
Not just better per dollar, but like. I guess like in more than one way is actually what I mean, because like, have you seen the stats on like flagship Intel? It's like, yeah, sure, it might be marginally faster in some use but at the cost of like 350 watts. Like that's
watts.
That's so much heat. So like,
yeah, it always has been.
The cooling solution. I mean, that's like damn near server space cooling solution.
Hello there.
You get that much wattage. Hello.
How you doing, Tron?
Hey, Paul.
Hey.
That was the Obi-Wan Kenobi entering. Hello there. So I just couldn't keep it together.
Oh, it's all right. But anyways, Tron, I have something special for you here. This is for you. Whoops. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tron. Happy birthday to you.
Hooray, that was awesome.
All right, yeah.
That ruled.
And I'll do one more for you. The song that I wrote for the legendary Tron. He always loves hearing this, so let me do it for you. Let me get the lyrics real quick. All right, here we go. Come with me on a journey to a place you've never seen before. A place where technology comes to life. A place where users can gather and share positive vibes. A place called the Grid. And who is the leader of this place? Who fights for the users? And who is celebrating his 40th birthday today? The legendary Tron. Tron, epic as can be. Tron, a mission that is plain to see. Spread good vibes around the grid and guarantee that your disabilities can't stop who you want to be. His name is Nate and he's wheelchair bound, but that's no bother to the dream he found. 'Cause he's determined to become the best pro gamer around. None better can be found. Just watch him in a Fortnite showdown, or whichever game he's currently playing. The legendary Tron, you make us smile, and the joy you give lasts quite a while. The legendary Tron, such a real great friend, I can't wait to see you stream again. Twitch supporters, the grid he names, they cheer him on as he plays his games. All the jaws drop as he leaves his toes in flames. Each time the same, he'll never miss each time he games. Legendary Tron, you make us smile, and the joy you give lasts quite a while. Legendary Tron, such a real great friend, I can't wait to see you stream again. Oh, the legendary Tron, you make us smile, and the joy you give lasts quite a while. The legendary Tron, such a real great friend, I can't wait to see you stream again.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's so thoughtful.
I just muted to clap instead of unmuting to clap.
That's
I
all
get
right.
that. I get that whole. That's a whole mood.
Awesome.
I'm glad you liked it, man. I would stick around longer, but unfortunately I have my own stream to get ready for, so I will see you later, man. But for real, happy 40th birthday. Here's hoping for 40 more. So you guys all have a
No
great night.
problem.
Thanks for joining us, Paul. I'll see you later,
No
buddy.
problem.
Have a nice stream.
Skyrim?
So, anyway, yes, I guess let me say happy birthday as well, since I kind of popped in here in the middle of a conversation. First got here. Happy birthday, Tron. It's great to see you tonight. Hello, everyone that's in here.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Nihilist.
Yes, nice to meet you as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah, so yeah, price to performance. Yeah, I agree with Pete. This generation, especially, it makes a whole lot of sense, especially on the GPUs too.
Just worked out.
Yep. NVIDIA's lost their damn minds on graphics cards, in my opinion.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the new series of AMD cards come out.
Yes. I think it's going to be very competitive. And Intel, like, I guess if you're playing like new titles, I hear the arcs are okay, but anything like older, good luck, have fun. Like, but it's still cool that they're trying. Somebody else is entering the GPU space.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we
to
need that
see-
competition. We need someone competing against AMD because you know, I mean, otherwise they may always beat us over the head in terms of price. So you know, hopefully that works out. As you were saying,
I'm
Yeah,
just
Pete, is it-
hanging out. I totally forgot what I was talking about.
I apologize.
Don't even apologize. All good.
One thing I'm learning about like streaming more is sometimes there's like, I don't know if this is the reason, but sometimes there's like a delay between people. So someone will start speaking at the same time, and it just people bump into each other.
Sure.
Definitely.
I had a friend doing a show with Muppets. Well, they're not Muppets, they're puppets. But they do these things, you know, they got puppets, and they went to do a singing thing, and they were all out of sync, you know. But it was still funny.
Probably made it a little better.
Mhm.
So, I have a confession to make. I just learned how to make a playlist in VLC Media Player so that I could play an entire season of shows that I pirate. So this is me. It's been a long time.
How long have you?
A long time. It's been a long time.
That was
LimeWire? When was VLC made?
Ooh, yikes.
LimeWire?
Probably.
Long time.
That's a long time. Because, like, as soon as I try and add more than one object, it usually just auto-directs me straight to the playlist.
Well, that's the only place I'm at now. For the past, like, 2 weeks, that's it. It's just the playlist. I open VLC, and it's like, would you like to make a playlist? And I go, yeah, in fact, I would.
Well, good. I'm glad you found the most basic of functions on, like, besides just, like, you know, pause, play, boost sound to 200%.
I know how to change subtitles and audio dubs too. I learned that years ago. So.
Well, at least you learned that, and you did know that you could boost the audio to 200%, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I totally knew that. Especially for all my low quality anime rips. Yeah, I totally knew that I could. Yeah.
Sometimes you need that. It's like, oh, it's amazing.
I have not used that one single time.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm waiting for AMD cards and see what I'm going for next year.
Yeah, that's that AMD. It sounds like MD, but it's the bot. But yeah, the AMD card next year should be sick nasty.
Yeah. So, what was the AMD card like years ago? That the 7790 or something. You say because they're on 6700 right now, right, for the cards. So you think the 70 or the 7970? You think that's going to come back?
There it is. Yeah. Yeah. I think on the 69 something. 6950X was I saw earlier today. I don't know what else there is, to be honest. I haven't really followed AMD cards. I shame myself, so you don't have to shame me.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I know that in the graphics cards are in like the 6,000 somewhere, right? But they've already had like the 7970. You know, back in what was that, like 2013? 2012. I had to look it up because it was like around the 900 series with the NVIDIA. But yeah, I don't know. I just the naming conventions of these items I don't think are ever well thought out because the product names tend to repeat each other.
Dude, I saw the.
I have a 2080 tons I.
A 2080 Ti.
Yes, Ti.
A 2080 Ti. That was a Ti. A Ti fighter. I had to think about that. I was like, what did I say?
That's cool. I got a 2060. I don't even know if there's a letter after that. I think it's just RTX 2060. Yeah.
The 20 series was not terrible. They were pretty good cards as far as the ray tracing goes.
I mean, like, you know, I remember I was when I first got it, I had a 1070 with 8 gigs and a 2060 with 6 gigs in this machine. And I was trying to decide which one to put in my server and which one to keep in my desktop. And ultimately, it was like, well, my friend showed me, you know, examples of the ray tracing feature on, and I was like, okay, you know, I better stick with the newer one in the desktop. And I figured, you know, the server could benefit from the more video memory when I'm doing, you know, video editing or some crap over the network. And that's another thing. So before, another direction things might go, people might just like already some people are, you know, using rack mounted servers, or they're buying enterprise grade servers that are, you know, old and surplus, and, you know, basically putting GPUs in them and remoting into them to play games over the network. And personally, I couldn't do that all the time, but sometimes it's nice to have the feature. I have a friend who swears on it. He'll literally like live on a laptop and remote in to play games on his server. And it works for him because he's got like 3 kids. So, you know, you can't give them all gaming PCs. So this is a good way to consolidate resources. But for me, I only use it like if I want to use remote to play on my Steam Deck. I can then play, you know, games on a more powerful computer on my TV. That works out really well.
Yes, yeah, it is convenient in some cases, and like definitely older games run better on an environment like that.
Like my friend gets 45 frames a second, he's fine with it, but it's like, well, this shit's capable of 60 frames a second. I want 60 frames a second.
I'm sorry, but yeah, below 59 FPS, gross. I think we can all agree on that one.
Gross.
Yeah, indeed. Like what bothers me is like video editing. A lot of people make movies and stuff. They're all about 24 frames a second, and I get it. Where directors are accustomed to working with that. But I mean, we have new technology. Get with the times, directors. Learn to direct a film that's done at a higher frame rate. And Peter Jackson did something interesting with the Hobbit movies, where he did them at 48 frames a second, which is cool because it's like a multiple of 24. So it didn't look completely jarring, and anything wrong with that movie would have been more on the overuse of CGI or just, things where they rushed it out,
Ronnie, you're blowing my mind, man. I think since I met you, I'm just been fascinated by all your knowledge. And I meant to tell you, your background looks great, and I really enjoyed the green screen fabric you were holding up earlier. I was kind of in.
Because like what happened was
so great.
I learned a lot in recent time. What happened was I had this webcam for a while. This is a not a bad webcam. It's like $40 and it gives you 60 frames a second at 1080p and has a really wide field of view. And I only bought it because the webcam before that was this Logitech here, and this one was 1080p at 30 frames a second. So I wanted 60 frames a second, So I get this, but the problem with this was a lot of image sensors can't really do the chroma key properly unless you get like a $400 Sony camera, sort of like, this is an older Olympus, but basically a Sony camera like this one here. Or similar, like this is an Olympus, but and I'm not doing that. I'm not spending $400 on a SLR so that I could put it on top of my monitor, So then Elgato came out with a camera called the Elgato Face Cam. Yeah. And basically, this is the closest thing you can get to a Sony A600 $400 camera without buying the $400 camera.
Right.
And it does chroma key properly, because a lot of times, like on this camera, you had to really play with the contrast and white balance and the lighting to get it to work. And even then, I would still have like edges of my hair would always blink in and out, and this would like morph into the background. So this here, like when I plugged in this camera, it was like immediately, I didn't even tweak the settings; it already looked better. So. Before, like, this curtain, even the edge of this curtain used to not blend correctly. Now I can do a half-ass job in lining it up, and it still works.
I didn't even realize that was a curtain until you started tugging on it. I was like, yo, like that, yeah, this looks like, because I've got other friends that, do streaming, and they always have problem, like, keying out the stuff. Like, that's insane, like, how good your setup looks.
So Ronnie, back to Peter Jackson and filming, I guess, Lord of the Rings in a 48 frames per second versus like a 24 frame per second. More like, how is that? How are you able? Is it by slicing the frames in different sequences down to 24 and then adding them in between the 48 frames that you have an additional
you just speed up the camera?
That's a good question. Basically, like, yeah, you speed up the camera. So because it's all digital, and if they were doing it on a film, theoretically they could just run the film at 48 frames a second. They used to do that, especially IMAX. IMAX, they literally ran at 60 frames a second on larger film. So you get more definition, because film tends to be grainy, which is okay. You got different types of film. Usually more light sensitivity means grainier. Less light sensitivity is less grainy, which coincidentally works the same in digital, similar in digital.
I need to hang out with you more often, man.
Well, I'll drop in. I don't know, if Tron got a Discord or something, but you know,
of course.
Oh, then I'm gonna have to jump in on that. So the 48 frames, like Nihilist said, they just set their camera to 48. Now I think they probably use a nicer camera, because I don't know if every DSLR can do 48, but get those. What is that? That Australian company, Red. I think they literally, yeah, they make real nice cameras, so they probably.
Yeah.
But what's weird is, like, every bootleg copy of The Hobbit I had, and that my friend has on his media server, was only 24 frames. So of course that's fine, because you can easily take 48 and just divide it or whatever, make it 24. But I was like, I want to see this in 48, so I had to go out of my way to hunt it down. And I mean, like, like I said, any issues that occurred would be more due to, rushing it during post-production. For example, in photography, depending on your aperture setting, if you have like a really narrow aperture, you let in less light, but everything in front of you and behind you will be in focus, assuming you have enough light with the narrow aperture. And so usually what happens is if you got like a bunch of hobbit dwarves crossing a bridge across a valley, you're going to have some stuff in the background that's going to be out of focus. But when they did it in CGI, they didn't simulate that, So people, I think, who know what to look for in filmmaking, they were the ones who made that observation. I wouldn't have noticed it, but once you are told that this is an issue, it's like, okay, I see it, but it doesn't mean directors shouldn't use the high frame rate.
I think, yeah, when it comes to at least movies, people are used to like that more cinematic look that like 24 or 30 frames a second gives, and that grainy feature. That's the other thing, is like opening the shutter of the lens faster also means more like it's in per shot.
Yes, that's funny you mention that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's like things like film. Like we think of like older movies like, oh, they look bad. No, they looked bad because of the medium that we consume them on, like CRT televisions, right? Like you ever watch something that was filmed on film, when you were a kid on like local like cable or whatever, like you're homesick, you're watching like PBS or something, like it looks real bad, right? But if you look at that like same film on a high definition TV, like a modern TV today, it looks amazing. And that's because like 70 millimeter film, like the capture quality is like, and now it's not the same because film and digital is different, but it's analogous to like 4K quality, like 4K 60. Yeah, it looks so good. Like, exactly,
and that's the beauty of film, is that everything could be more or less, either upscale. They don't necessarily have to upscale it. They just have to rescan it at the appropriate resolution, maybe clean it up a bit. But that's a really cool thing. That's why a lot of movies done in the 90s look beautiful on modern TVs, when they're done right. And, don't even get me started on DVD rips. Yeah, I don't even want to. So, old video for TV, they, had the video signal interlaced where you have these lines. So when you digitize tapes, you get these horizontal lines if you look at it without a filter. And that's been a bane of my existence. Certain DVDs it happens on, all of my VHS copies. And, that's like something that if it came from film, I wouldn't have this problem, and if it was a DVD done in a progressive scan, I don't have this problem. And so sometimes I wait for the Blu-ray release at this point because I don't want to have to clean it up,
Exactly. Like Dick Van Dyke Show is a real good example of that. Like it was, filmed in the 60s, came out in the 60s, and it was all on film, right? They didn't have a thing. If you get your hands on the Blu-ray copies, even like 5 or 6 years ago, like the Blu-ray copies of Dick Van Dyke look fucking amazing. Like they're so high res. Like it's like, how is this like something that was made like 50, 60 years ago? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, film is magical like that.
Yes, it is. Like it's so, it boggles the mind like how high quality film really actually is. It's just way cheaper to shoot on digital.
Yes.
Like,
film is obscenely expensive. I've had a friend, he wanted to do a movie on like Super 8 or something like that, and just more like a high school gimmick project, but they were just like, very quickly they discovered, nope.
Yeah, especially something like Super 8 nowadays, it's not like really in production like that film size anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like even like, I don't know, like it lasts forever if it's stored properly.
Yeah. Film can be tricky. When you store it, you can get fungus on it if it's exposed to moisture, depending on, but in general, yeah, if you have it in a dry, relatively regulated temperature, yeah, it will last virtually forever.
Right. Like most of like important documents for governments are stored on tapes. Like they still are optimizing like tape media to like store data. Do you like, have you guys ever, I've gone down this rabbit hole. I'm kind of embarrassed. Have you guys ever looked at like the largest size for like a tape media is? It's insanely big, like way
laughing
bigger
out loud.
Figure out, put on like a hard drive.
Well, larger size tape media, you mean the actual tape media, like the size of the tape cartridge or the ribbon?
Like terabytes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I thought it was like what did you say? Petabytes? Like,
yeah.
I think it's like 32 or like some crazy aspect of that, and it's been around for like ever. And the thing is about tapes is that they don't degrade as quickly as solid state media and CDs. So they are used. I think it's a little bit longer than paper, actually. Paper and ink. No, that may be wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about there. But tape's really good, and it has a lot of storage properties, and it's used quite widely for older backups, especially because of the cost of it, because that's already around and everything like that. But I wonder both of those. To the answer to both of those, like, what's the biggest like role of storage, like digitally, like digital storage, and then what's like the biggest like role physically, you know?
Apparently, I looked up, there is a 580 terabyte tape out there, cartridge, you know? But I remember, like, I looked into buying something like much more modest in size, and like in the 20 terabyte size, and it was just the price of the tape drive would have been obscenely expensive. It was just cheaper for me to buy like 10 hard drives and put them into a RAID.
Yes, that's that. It is insanely expensive because it is a not widely used medium anymore. But yeah, also 580 terabytes of data on essentially what is a cassette tape. Like, imagine a hard drive having that much space. Like, that's so much space. It is all like, I don't think it stores stuff like picture media or like movies.
Oh, you know, you can put anything you want on it. You just can't access it when you know, instantly. But it's like if you have like a RAID array, like a bunch of hard drives, and you want to ensure that the data is backed up in a foolproof manner, you put it on 2 tapes, you mail one out somewhere else. You know, if something like a natural disaster happens, hopefully one of the tape cartridges is still available. You know, and I would love to have that available if it wasn't like $10,000 for the drive.
No, man, just do it. You should just do it. And let me know how well it works.
I feel like most of the people that use tapes for backups already have the infrastructure to run the tapes. Right. You know, like
yes,
big governments and stuff.
That's true. They probably, and they're gonna have, you know, redundant capacity on that. They're gonna have, you know, more drives, different, you know, they'll always be able to read it back in at a different location from the one they backed it up at.
And to take it, yeah, and that's kind of, I'm thinking along the same path as you, like, to take it one step further, like they would waste more money by upgrading to a more modern technology rather than using their existing technology in even such expensive capacity to like back shit up, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's why
you gotta use it once you have it, otherwise you just go to the whole new thing, you're gonna waste more money, and people are like, well, it's not broke, no fix. So I don't know,
exactly.
It costs less.
And like, I'm kind of a military brat, and it's kind of funny, but that's why the military like still uses Laserdisc and shit, because like they invested so much in it.
Like, what are we gonna do? Throw these away? What are we gonna do? Recycle? Make some wall art?
Yeah, it's really funny. Like, out of all the things, Laserdisc, just these giant, like, how big were they? They're like 24 inches, 20 inches, right? Like.
So, like, we ordered a continent size of Laserdisc. What are we supposed to use these for?
Who would have ever thought of Blu-ray?
Yeah, what else are we going to use for?
Because I'm pretty sure Laserdisc was like something wholly created by the government, like as like a way to store data. Right, and it's kind of crazy when you think of things like that, because they're also the ones that invented like touchscreen, like the way our phones work today, where you can slide apps around. Like, they've had that in jets since like 1999, like where pilots can just customize their dashboards by like moving around the gauges, like, and like do whatever they want. They've had that for a long time, but yeah. That one took off, not Laserdisc.
I think there's a lot of military technology like that where you have like this cutting edge point, and it really is like people go, wow, this is it. This is the future. Let's order 3,000 B-52 bombers. We have to do it. This is the only way forward to maintain superiority. And then like 10 years later, we have like the B-2 stealth bomber, and it's like, or you know, whatever, you know, like not, yeah, the B-2 stealth bomber, right? Or what are the surveillance plane or whatever, you know what I mean? Like 20, 30 years later, we had stuff that would, I mean, that would just completely outclass B-52.
Right.
But in that time and what it took to get to like the B-52 was like just a monumental task. And they're like, there's no way we're not gonna capitulate. Is that the right word? It's not even capitalize, but it's like, to see this to fruition, all of this like research and money that we've put into making one, we have to see it to fruition. We have to make thousands, and they have to like work. And then 30 years later, we have stuff that blows that out of the water. And it's that trend of exponential growth we've grown a better understanding of it over the past 100 years, like literally 100 years. It's literally 100 years. It's crazy.
The amount of technology, like okay, yes, the 100 years, past 100 years, but like even the last 150 years, like going back to 1900, even like
exponential. It's exponential.
So
it's explosive, and there's a ton of foundation that was laid over thousands of years that is, I mean, I would almost wager ingrained in our humanity in some kind of way.
Right. Definitely. Like,
but
at some point we didn't really have to be taught how to make fire anymore.
Yeah, or to cook things, and like I don't know, and to like have community and things like that. And but when we started industrializing, I really think there was a period of industrialization across the world that like just made things exponential. And it's really like you're never surprised, but you're always surprised at how far things come. Like for me, this year, it was AMD's new CPUs. When they came out, I was just like, what is happening? This wasn't supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a huge example of kind of like the culmination of everything we're talking about. We're talking about like CPUs for like home computers and home desktops. I mean, it's the culmination of everything, microcontrollers and entire operating systems and all this data that we like, you know, send off to like, I don't know, we collect it from all these different kind of missions, right? It's just, and this is for the consumer, and that just paints a picture for me too.
Yeah, for me, it's when I realized that like, if I really, really wanted to, like, if you think about it, you could order literally every base component you wanted to make a computer. I mean, down to like capacitors and MOSFETs and like your PCBs, right? You could order all of that and have it delivered to your door.
Yeah.
Like, and literally from the ground up, like from power design wise and like how the logic of it works, things, design your own computer. I mean, because like that's literally what Wozniak did. Like that's how you know, like, he's just like, I've got these like transistors and I'm gonna tell them to think in the way that I want them to think.
So to kind of keep this pendulum swinging and to play the devil's advocate of that, 20 years ago you would have had to have $1 billion 20 years ago, back when gas was like $1.50.
Okay,
to do the same thing, you would have seriously had to have thousands of engineers, and there's no way in hell. Now you can download Blender, not Blender, but such as a free program for PCB creation, and you can lay out your own macro pad, keyboard, whatever you want for your printable computer board, and you can send it off to a company that will prototype one for several $100s. It's no cheap hobby.
But it's not billions of dollars.
But it's not. And you don't know. I mean, you know, anybody can do this at home. So who says it's going to work? I'm not an electrical engineer, but you can do it, and you can send it off. You can have it shipped to your house. You can do that with a motherboard, like you were saying. If you have the intuition, the talent, the knowledge, and that's an exponential growth, because like we were talking about, like 20 years ago, you're dreaming. You're absolutely dreaming. And today, you can sit down over the weekend and just kind of like sketch something up. And if you have the gumption and a little bit of cash, when I say a little bit, like $1,000 for a project like this is nothing to sneeze at. That's a huge investment, especially for something just to like, well,
just to mess around, and that might not ultimately
to mess. I was just gonna say to mess around and find out. Like, you want to mess around and find out, like you can today. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm like, mess around and find out. I like the numpad on the left side, folks. There's not a whole lot of those keyboards out there. I like the numpad on the left side.
And that's what you're making, huh?
That's me. That's my goal. And I think that there's a lot of other right-handers that want to have their mouse in their right hand and do their thing, and then numpad left hand. It just makes sense. Like, you know what? Click on different fields.
You know what? I didn't think. I never thought about that. Like, because like
on the right side?
I use my number pad so much for work, and you're 100% right.
Yeah, because right now you're like doing this.
Where's the
you got the
Kickstarter?
mouse and you go to the numpad. Well, you see, the thing is, they were making them 5 years ago for like $400 a pop. They're now they're pre-order right now for $300 a pop, and they're gonna be released in a plastic frame, mass quantity. It's gonna hit the market in a few months. I'm dead serious. Google search Southpaw 100% keyboard. I think it's by like KBD or something like that. But yeah, there's a new one coming out. It's pre-order right now, but it still hasn't hit the market in such a huge way yet. I think there's a big missed opportunity for left-handed numpads to right-handed people.
Yes, I never thought about that until you said it, and it's like, holy shit, that would be like, even like from a typing perspective, that would be so much more comfortable for where I keep my keyboard, like how I have to position my keyboard, like to shift everything that far to the left or to the right. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and so there's like that aspect, like my mouse bumps into my numpad on the right side. Like, why am I doing that? At the same time, I bought a 60% keyboard, and that doesn't have a numpad. It's 10 keyless, obvious. There's no F keys and all that good stuff. So I've had to like rotate 15 years of typing about, I don't know, like 10 to 15 degrees. It's a big change. It's a big change.
No.
And that's like imagining, okay, the numpad's not on this side anymore. I'm gonna move the whole thing over this way and imagine my numpad's on the other side and that my left hand's using it. It's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal.
I think I could get used to that, because like, yeah. Oh man. Now I want it.
Nice, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds nice,
Thinking
right?
about it.
Yeah, but
like how much faster I could be.
It's so fast.
Like,
it's so fast, brother.
Because like it sucks trying to use the number keys at the top of the keyboard. Like that's the worst.
Yeah.
Like,
I have to look at it. I'm like, where's my like? Because I want to make sure I'm not hitting escape, like trying to smash the one. Like, oh gosh.
My big thing is getting the tilde key, man. Is like, because
tilde,
like,
well, see, on a functionless keyboard, the tilde and the escape are behind control. So you like use, you know what I'm saying? Because it's there's no function bar, so your escape's smashed right next to one, and then the media keys are even further. I mean, goodness.
Yeah. See, I've got a 10 keyless, but like it still has the function keys. I don't know how you do it without like okay. So I have 2 keyboards. Like I've got my blues for typing, like when I'm working, and then I've got, because I'm fucking pro gamer, true gamer, bro. I've got my little red my little red 10 keyless, like for when I'm gaming. Got the red switches, like. So I literally, like, on my off days, I'll put the blue keyboard away and pull out the red, and then
you are a goon. You're an absolute goon. He polishes the red WASD, the WASD, polishes it up. He's sitting over the weekend going, you just wait until my time comes.
I've already had to like switch out some of the switches, and I've had these keyboard about a year.
You're like lighting up incense, like prepping the game, and then like you wave the incense around and like pluck out the keyboard, and you just summon it, and you go. And I know what you're thinking. Is that pink keycaps?
No,
You're
it
right.
was. Yeah,
But
yeah, it's good.
this is my sister. So it was just sitting next to me. They had
I
these-
mean, it kind of is like that though. Like I'm sorry, I am a sweaty, competitive gamer. Like I like them
pro gamer.
fast-paced shooters. So I gotta have the high refresh rate monitors. Yes. Ooh. Complete. Ooh, God. Oh, okay. That's where I like that. I like the keycap markings. Let's see. Now, what I'm currently using, what I daily drive, I've got 2 red dragons. One of them is, the blue switches. One of them is red. But I also have a DOS keyboard. God, I wish I had my camera. I would go get that keyboard and show you. Have you DOS keyboard?
No, I don't. No.
Oh, let me see if I can look it up for you and link you.
I have that. I mean, this is a red dragon that I have.
Yeah, I really like Red Dragon. My thing is I can't the DOS keyboard I inherited. Otherwise, I wouldn't have it because they're too expensive. It's really hard for me to justify spending more than like $80 on a keyboard. You know what I mean?
The red dragon was great for me for that reason because I mean it was $45 and I got 60 Gateron Browns. I was like, well, that's like $30. So
right, exactly. So it's because I forget which model this is. I think it's like the 580, the one with the blues. 582. Yeah, and it was like $50, and then the one with the reds was like I got on sale for like $35. I was like, yes, give me.
yeah,
it's so good.
Oh, dude, I just bought Boba's the other day because I'm a glutton for pain.
Okay, so that I just sent you in the chat, like the link to somebody like used to have a roommate and he just fucking left this keyboard here. It's like $170.
Yeah, nice snag, man.
Yeah, and it feels amazing. The keycaps have no markings because he was like a hipster asshole.
Awesome.
Like, I'm so cool. So it's like really awkward to use unless you really know your keys. But so I don't daily drive that. But it's real comfortable. Anybody want it?
Good, I'm good. It does look nice. Hey, Ronnie joined the grid. That's our Discord?
It is our Discord. Welcome, Ronnie.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that was a few minutes ago, too.
Yeah. Thanks for the link. Yeah, I was just shuffling things in and out of my desk drawer. I have a drawer that's like jammed, and I'm trying to empty out my desk to get the drawer back in. But I found a copy of Wario Land for Virtual Boy.
Whoa, dude.
The arcade crap I have on my desk.
Whoa, dude.
I got some Black Sabbath albums here.
You need those. That's a necessity.
Yeah, I better keep those for safekeeping. If the discs even work.
I do the same stuff.
CD...
I keep that like important stuff close by, like just tucked away, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, the spare hard drive, or I might need to put it in.
I have a SATA, a 256 SATA SSD. Oh, look at that, Sean. Oh my god.
I got a spare 40 meg hard drive here if we need a 40 megabyte drive.
Is that IED? That's not even SATA.
It's like 1989 IDE. If you turn this knob, the read-write head will scratch the platter. That's actually part of the stepper motor assembly.
Okay.
And I think it even has a... No, it doesn't have it, but some of these will have a little chart on them so they could list bad sectors from the factory.
Bad sectors from the factory. Can you imagine? Like,
the warranty is like, hey, 20 to 30% of the drive for like 5 years. Probably good with that.
Oh no, that one got me.
I need a small keyboard because I don't really use the number pad.
Well, yeah. Tron physically operates in a much smaller area of the keyboard. I never really thought about. They have these new keyboards, Tron. This isn't one of them. This is a 60%. But what they do is like on the 60%, you have your number keys up here. These are all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 0, and then you have your QWERTY, your Q, W, E, R, T, Y, and all that good stuff. But they have a sectional where it's like you just like cover this part of the keyboard, and so there's like nothing on that side.
Yes.
But you get like your WASD and your shift and your space, and then you get like some numbers up here and stuff. But for you, I think that's your left hand, but your right hand comes across more often, and I think kind of sometimes hits over here as well. I think it would be like, I don't know, something to look at. I'm gonna find one. I'm gonna send you an example of what I'm talking about, because it's a weird design. I can't you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I can't really explain the keyboard layout, but there's just enough keys around QWERTY in like a couple rows down. Yeah. And I don't think it's good for typing personally. Like you don't have a third of the keyboard. You can't fucking type. But it's very good for. Oh, I dropped the F-bomb. But it's very good for like first-person shooter controls, where you have like grenade, and you've got melee, and you've got crouch, prone, run, sprint, map, binoculars, compass, radio. Like there's so many other buttons you have to map, but they're like close to your QWERTY keys, so I really like it too.
Right, because it's like a wraparound. It almost looks like the palm of a hand. Like, keyboards that you're talking about. Yes.
The palm of a hand. Are you talking about the one that's like an inverted palm, where they're like blah?
No, not like that. I just meant like the general shape. Like it's kind of like in the shape of like how you're. It's
like a fan. It's more like the keyboard layout's kind of like a fan, but it's on a square board or a rectangle board. But like you have like a little section of like very powerful keys, and then you have all your extras like shift and control and caps lock and all that is in the regular spots. And basically you get this 60% layout, but you get it like in a smaller package, like my wrist rest at the bottom. Like, so you end up your 60% keyboard ends up being this big, and it's still all the same kind of key switches and caps, but it's like on this profile, and it's just what you need, man. It's only like Nihil was saying, it's just as big as your hand. It's not much bigger than that, you know what I mean?
Right. Here,
and they're very cool.
And as a matter of fact, I just found one from Red Dragon, and like most of them also come with like, they're not function keys exactly. They work kind of like how like an MMO mouse works, where you can hit a button and then it changes what the keys do. So like if you see, once you get it pulled up, you see it's got like, I think it says like G, like 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think there's a G1 around somewhere too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I get you on that. That looks like what's called a moon lander. Some people would know what I'm talking about.
Okay. So then maybe we're not talking about the same thing.
I understand what you mean. I very clearly understand what you mean. So yours is the better version of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a more aesthetic version. It's a little bit bigger and unnecessary, but yours is like a very good example of, it's almost got the exact same amount of keys. It's just mine's less square and without an integrated palm rest. But it's almost the exact same amount of keys. They just stretch it out to the left side a little bit more.
Yes, and I guess that's probably why I think that's probably why I was like, kind of looks like a fist, right? Like, or like the palm of your hand, because of the wrist rest and that. Because that's the one I keep in mind.
Yeah, there's some whack crazy, like you'll understand what I'm talking. But it looks like a monkey's paw that's gripping this way, but it's got buttons inside of it, and so you interface your hand with that. I'm not talking about that at all. And I was like confirming that you were not either.
Oh right, yes, I know what you're talking about. The little like
those, it's
like a
weird.
virtual reality keyboard.
It's a very niche. Yeah.
Yes.
Very niche. It's like not many
No,
people would use that.
Yeah.
But yours, the one that you're talking about, they often make those in split keyboard layouts. Like the Moonlander's a split key that you can pop together, and then you can use palm rest for integrated palm rest is especially a popular feature on that kind of style. This style is, like I said, it's kind of more 60%, but because you got your regular space bar and you got you have left and right side controls. It's just that people more often use them to map like gaming buttons. When I say controls, I'm talking like shift and then like control alt and then window key and stuff. You have like all your side profiles.
Basically everything, like you said, basically everything you would need. Your audio dropped out, Pete. I thought you stopped talking.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I did stop talking.
Yeah. It looked like you were still talking. I'm sorry. Hello?
What's up?
I can see your mouth moving, but...
Oh yeah, let's move my mouse without saying anything.
Don't mess with me, man. I thought there was a delay. But yeah, basically like you were saying, basically everything you would need for like a shooter, but not really like an MMO.
Yeah, it seriously cuts out the right 1/3 of your keyboard, the usable keys. Yeah. It's just like, forget everything past the Y, H, B. You go find Y, go down to H, go down to B, cut out everything to the right of that, and then add, your shift, enter, backspace keys to the right side. It's that small. It's really itty bitty. And they make them all cute and stuff, but that's all you need. You need your Y, H, B, left, and then left, that way, use everything to the left of it. This is, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? You've convinced me. I'm gonna get it and become even sweatier in Overwatch.
You're like somebody I look up to. I just want you to know that.
Wow.
What I want is RGB wireless keyboard.
Yeah.
Does Razer make that?
The one that I posted, or I don't know.
Oh, that one you posted it. That's got a. I just like the volume knob on it, to be honest.
The K530 wireless, $45 on.
Which keyboard are you talking about, Ronnie?
The DAS keyboard with the MX Cherry mechanical switches.
I don't know that Razer makes it. DAS Keyboard is its own company.
Yeah, this one looks beautiful. Whoever posted the link, was it you? I think you posted the link, right, with the DAS keyboard. I love the volume knob on it. But getting back, in general, I just remember Razer looks like the type of company who would make LED keyboards. I honestly don't know off the top of my head, but I think I seen a Razer laptop that had I was working doing repairs on it a while back, and it had this intricate LED thing. You had to get the driver, you had to sign into the website, so I had to get the customer's email address to sign into the stupid thing. But aside from the driver download being a pain in the butt, it was a cool, it looked cool, for a laptop especially. Ooh, that's nice and compact too. That's why I picked this up. I wanted something compact and quiet for the bedroom so I wouldn't get loud when I'm typing. But I use a DAS keyboard on my other machine, and I prefer the feel of that.
Oh, so you are aware of DAS keyboard then?
Oh yeah. I have the an older model from it's got 2 USB ports on it, which always a little sketchy. Yeah, those were always a bit sketchy for me and I figured out, okay, just don't plug any power hungry devices into it, and usually it's like a wireless mouse dongle or something like that. But that I found a little annoying. Otherwise, the keyboard mechanically is overall all right. It's a step up. I used to use the IBM Model M keyboard. If you're familiar with that one, it's like it's an IBM keyboard. It weighs a ton.
Keyboard.
It uses buckle springs instead of the cherry switches, and it's got this very satisfying ping, click and ping sound when you use it.
Yes, that's the keyboard that everybody that's a big keyboard fanatic, the dream keyboard, because they never break and they're amazing to use.
Mm-hmm.
They literally do not make them like that anymore.
Yeah. Like
Kidding?
I used to pick them from the garbage at school when they threw them out. If I knew they were going to be so good, I would have stocked up on them. But back then I thought this was the old technology, and that it was like, screw it, I gave one away. Well, I gave one away to someone I was cool with, so that was okay. But like, I wouldn't have given as many away if I realized it, if I realized it earlier that this was something to keep.
Right. Yeah. Who knew though? Right. Like
I'm down to like 2 of them now, and one of them is like shot.
Yeah, maybe somebody will start manufacturing them, not them, but they're analog. It's like they've started manufacturing CRTs a little bit again because of retro gamers.
That's kind of cool.
Isn't that really dumb?
It is kind of dumb. Because there's ways to cope. I get it though, because I did the HDMI upgrade on my N64, and basically like some people prefer playing it on a professional grade CRT because once again, getting back to the interlaced scanline signal. In particular, Sonic, they have a feature called Sonic Waterfalls, and so basically what they did was when they programmed the game, they didn't have the ability to make transparency effects, transparent waterfalls, but what they figured out was we can exploit the way the old TVs work, the way that it's using alternating lines. And so what they would do is they take vertical lines, and they're not actually transparent, but when Sonic walks behind them and you're looking at it on the old style TV, you get this illusion of that there's transparency. And they would also do this to give the illusion of more colors on a color palette than there were actually. They would make it look like there were more colors when there was actually a more limited color palette. So that's one of the reasons why there's actually a case to be made for using a CRT, but then there's other solutions. Like there's a box that it's called like the Scanline Creator or something. Basically, it creates scan lines on a digital signal, and some of them work pretty well, but it's not perfect, But I think that it would be a better use of energy to figure out how to make it look like a CRT on a modern TV than to get it.
I don't know, man. It's 2020. I think this is the time.
Thank you, Sack.
I'm sorry, I had to cut out because I had a call on the speaker and this, the Google thing that speaks out loud and shit. But yeah, so I got to look into this about CRTs, but there is a company that does make a replica, sort of, I don't know how good it is or accurate, but it's like a replica of the IBM Model M. And by replica, I use that term really loosely. Unicomp, that's it. I don't know if these are actually comparable, but it's a company called Unicomp, and they supposedly produce keyboards that are supposed to be IBM Model M clones, and it looks like, actually, I'm reading their going out of business letter on their website right now. Oh, wait, oh no, maybe they're just apologizing for the supply shortage, because they still have one model for $104, but I don't know, it's like a whole 2-hour, it's never a good sign when the website has a 2-hour valued customers, open letter.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like just going out of. There's 2 scenarios I see. It could be going out of business because of supply chain issues, even though, it's been mostly lightened up. Or they got a cease and desist and we're like, hey, stop fucking doing this. You can't do this. IBM was like, no.
I hate when companies do that. They protect intellectual property that is like 50 years out of date. It's like, dude, chill.
Okay, so kind of in the same realm, but things like Charlie Brown and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, for decades they've been shown on PBS at Christmas time, right? Guess what? Not anymore. Apple bought the rights to them. So if you want to see it, no more PBS.
Assholes.
Right. It's only been a tradition for when did Charlie Brown's Christmas special come out? The 60s?
Yeah.
And
I was under the mistaken impression that certain things go into the public domain, but I guess it hasn't been 100 years yet.
Yeah, I don't know what the story is, but I'm sure Charlie Brown definitely was not in public domain. There's had to have been, rights. He's even though Charlie Brown out of date, and same thing with Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph, like, I'm sure people own those because Christmas is such big business in general. Like,
Yeah, that's true too. And I mean, I think, like, I get it. If you don't protect your IP, sometimes you almost forfeit it. There's like this weird thing about intellectual property law where you have to sometimes sue, or you have to basically send out letters, or else you sort of forfeit. I don't know the detail on that.
it's
But,
like you have to like renew the license every
that too,
40
yeah,
years or some shit.
that's true.
And if you don't renew the license, then somebody else can come in and like get it. But like the thing is, like, what happens if the person that made it is just dead, right? Like, and now somebody else can just come in and buy it, and then like charge more money or like restrict access to it, and then that's it. Like nobody else can enjoy it ever.
Well, it's funny you mention that. Like, there's like and before I go to eat dinner, I remember someone was talking about restoring Japanese anime film rolls that would get found in storage all over Japan, and some of it would get purchased by somebody who cares, who would scan it and, clean it up and share it with the world. And other content would get hoarded by somebody, and look, they have every right to if they obtain it, but it's like kind of shitty because now this item is not going to see the light of day because you want to be a dick. Not you, but the third person,
Right.
And I thought that was kind of like a interesting situation.
Yeah, and art's meant to be shared, like realistically.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you don't make it so you can't share it, and it's like, if you can make a good reason, like, there might be a good reason, but I didn't see any valid explanation other than it belongs to Japan, so I'm gonna keep it in my garage, well, not garage, but storage closet, whatever, some BS.
Right.
But yeah. But anyway, gentlemen, it was a real pleasure being here. It was nice meeting you, Mr. Nihilist Enthusiast, and Pete.
yeah,
It was really cool joining your birthday party, Tron. And I hope to drop by the Discord, and I will, always continue checking out your both your YouTube and your Twitch content, which I know you're really on fire on Twitch out there. But with that said, man, you have a happy birthday and enjoy your evening.
Ronnie, it was nice meeting you, man.
Likewise. And you guys all enjoy the festivities together, all right? Enjoy your sake. Anybody got sake?
Just beer right now.
You got shoji screens behind you. How do you not have sake?
I know, right? Just beer right now.
Okay, well, beer is good. Is it Japanese beer?
No, it's certainly not. It's local beer. Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, enjoy the local beer. I have the same can of Stella in the fridge for a couple of months. I got to check the expiration date on it, see before it goes bad. I hate to waste it.
No, it just ages like fine wine. It's fine.
Oh, it's just like fine wine.
Yeah. It definitely probably won't start to mold or go bad at some point.
Well, one more thing. I remember one time I had a can of Dr. Pepper that was from the 90s, and this was like in the 2000s. It was like in the fridge at the deli, and it had a little rust on the bottom, which, I mean, maybe it was rust from the refrigerator because obviously aluminum don't rust like that, but I drank it, and it tasted like seltzer. It tasted like what's that shit? Sparkling water. Dr. Pepper tasted like sparkling water, which was like a big red flag. Like, this is not supposed to taste like this. So I return it. The guy goes, get something else. I grabbed another Dr. Pepper. I was like, no, don't grab that. I was like, but maybe the next can is good. But I guess he decided to throw out the rest of that batch, and I didn't get my Dr. Pepper that day.
I think I've been having the same Dr. Pepper pandemic over the last month, so I'm just saying. I'm not like bullying you on that. That's like a funny story, but I'm being dead serious because I'm a DP fan. I'm seriously a Dr. Pepper fan.
Stuff is good. It is a good
it really
soda.
is. But it's just not. It's not hitting me the same these days. I don't know what the deal is, but it is a real treat. I used to drink like one on a lunch, 2 or 3 times a week. Like on my lunch break, I was like, oh, I want a nice little soda, and I'd have a Dr. Pepper every time. And just lately, it's not hitting me the same. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. Maybe I burned my tongue on some soup.
Yeah,
I've been making a lot of soup lately.
Maybe you just give it a reset, and it'll taste good after a year. What time apart makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Just buy
I'll just know exactly what I missed after a year.
If you follow Ronnie's method, buy one now and then just leave it in the fridge for a year, and then because I'm sure that will be a great reintroduction to it after a year.
Yeah,
a literal year-old soda.
That'll do.
Make it a 20 ounce in a plastic bottle.
Oh my god, I don't know if that's better or worse, to be honest, but I will contemplate that. But anyway, gentlemen, you all have a great time. Enjoy the birthday party. Happy birthday, Tron, and peace out.
Take care.
How do I hang up? Is this how I do it? Yeah, there we go. Got it.
But yeah. See, it's because you don't live.
Alright guys, I am going to stop for tonight, but I have an event tomorrow in VR chat. I'll be doing Disc Wars with a VR chat. Kimuni, thank you that I hooked up. Thank you all for coming to the stream.
No problem, man. It was fun. It was fun hanging out.
Yeah, definitely fun. Later, Gator. Bye, everybody.
See ya.